Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. Jenny Wise here from WiseMind Yoga Psychology School. So welcome, welcome, and WiseMind Soul Warrior. And so I'm so honored and so excited to have Chrystal Joy Brooks on with us this morning. She is one of our beautiful soul sisters. She's in the process of getting ready to graduate soon. So I'm super excited for her because she will be a graduate here in just a little bit, probably about a month or two. And so if you would like to start with sharing how you and I connected, how did we connect?
Okay. Well, actually, I found you, Jenny, through, I think, a social media ad. I had been looking at different yoga teacher trainings, trying to find the right fit for me. I'm a stay-at-home mom of four. I homeschool. So I was looking for something a little bit more flexible because doing like an immersion wasn't really in the cards for me at this point in my life. And I got on a call with you, which was great. It was so like heartwarming. Like I don't know, I felt your energy and it was just wonderful. You were so kind and explaining everything to me, and it just felt like a wonderful fit. I love that your program covers like the neuroscience in addition to all of the like energy work and like the way everything's connected, the mind and the body and the spirit. And that was just, that was really big for me because that's exactly what I was looking for. So yeah.
Yeah. So I remember that. And it's interesting that you say that because a majority of the students that I interview like this, when I ask them what it was like getting on a call with me, they say it was like getting on a call with a friend, basically. Like it was just like very chill, and I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because I'm not like a pressure person, right? It's more like a consultation call. We're going to get on, you're going to talk about like, here's the things I want to do. Here's the thing, here's my goals, like whatever your dreams are, as far as if you are a yoga teacher. If you're struggling with certain things, we're going to talk about that. And then here's what I would recommend, right? So it's pretty much almost like, in some ways, it's a free coaching call in some ways.
Yeah.
Because I literally am just there to listen and then give you the information you need to make a decision. So, and you and I definitely was like an amazing conversation when you have like that type of immediate connection. And you and I connected in so many ways. So yeah. And yeah, so I just want to share that. I'm just putting that out there because
Yeah.
I am not somebody who's going to get on and I'm like, if for those of you out there that your inner critic voice is like scaring you, right? And you're in fear and you've been waiting on the sidelines to schedule a call with me, now's the time to do it because we're doing
Yeah.
calls still through this week. And so if you've been waiting on the sidelines and you've been watching the Silence Your Inner Critic all week, or maybe you haven't, but maybe you've been following me for a while, or maybe you just met me, right? Maybe like you just saw me on Facebook, right? So that's one of the reasons why we do these interviews, so that people know that like I am like legit, like I love and care about all my students, and everything that I teach you guys, I've gone through in my own healing journey. So there's
Yeah.
nothing that I don't teach or no transformation that I've not gone through myself that I'm not teaching students.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be a yoga teacher, that's totally fine. Like that's totally cool. Like this isn't just for yoga teachers. If you're a mom, if you are a professional, an entrepreneur, a therapist, a coach, whatever the thing is, like you can go through this for your own healing and transformation. And oftentimes students get inspired to want to teach it because they want to share it because it's transformed them so much. So speaking of which, tell us a little bit about your personal like yoga journey and what brought you to yoga as well.
Okay. Well, first I wanted to say I was one of those people that was scared to get on a call. I was very nervous, but because I didn't really have a lot of set questions for you, and I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to do, but I just felt like this was right for me. So, like getting on that call with you and having that first conversation was so like it like calmed my nerves so much because it did show me that even if I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this, that this was beneficial for me and this is the next step that I needed to take in my journey. So I thank you for that, for just being you and being so warm and inviting and accepting and sharing your own journey. So
Oh, I
yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Um,
I'm here to like support. I really want to be a light to other teachers and coaches and women in general, right? Whether you want to teach or you don't. I really want to be here to support women supporting women, women empowerment, women showing up in their purpose, living their best life. And I'm here from like personal experience that unless you release the things that aren't serving you, you can't completely move forward into stepping into your purpose, like period. So you have to be able to let go of the past, let go of the generational trauma, let go of childhood and relationship and all the things and be able to identify that, which is part of what we do, which are, you can share. And you can't live in the present moment either if you don't do that, right? And then you can't
right,
move forward into what you're meant to do, what your calling and your purpose is if you've not let those things go, right?
right.
So I'm a living testimony of that. I know you're going to share your testimony, and this is one step in that process. So I'll say one more thing, like to your point, I hear that a lot where students were like, when I interview them, they're like, I was scared to get on a call. Like, it's like, don't be scared. Don't let your thinking mind and your ego talk you out of it, right? Because that's what the brain's job is. It's going to tell you all the reasons why not to get on a call with me, right? I don't have the time. I'm too busy. This won't work for me. Jenny's going to be pushy, whatever the thing is. Like, this is going to be a sales call. It's not going to be a sales call. I promise you. I'm not here to want to talk anybody into like, we need dedicated students and committed students in this program because this work is super important in the world and we need yoga for mental health in the world. So we're here to find and seek students like Chrystal that are dedicated, committed students. And whether they want to do this work on themselves or they want to take us out into the world, that's who we're looking for. Okay. All right. So with that,
Okay.
tell us about your yoga journey. Like what
Okay.
brought you to yoga and meditation?
Okay. So, well, to start, I grew up in a very strict Christian home, very religious, uh, Pentecostal, like all the things, fundamentalist. And I had started a mindset journey in 2020 and just trying to get in a better mindset because I had struggled with anxiety and depression and postpartum depression and ADHD and all the things that go along with that. And I had a lot of like self sabotaging tendencies that I didn't understand
Mhm.
why. Like, I knew that I was kind of preventing myself from growing in certain areas, but I didn't understand why or how to change it. So, in like doing some mindset work, I started to just open up more. I started to kind of make that mind body connection, and learning about the mind and how it works. And um, my journey. And then I just kind of had this remembering of who I am and why I'm here, and wanted to dig deeper and learn more about it so that I could help other people.
Mhm.
And so I started doing yoga along with my mindset stuff and realized like there's so much stored in the body that like I need to learn more about that too. So that's what kind of got me into wanting to learn about yoga and yoga psychology. And then I found you.
I love that. Well, I'm
Yeah.
so grateful. Like, so it was like such divine intervention that we connected. And it's interesting when you have those types of conversations because, as you know, we both have struggled with depression and anxiety in the past, right? And so trying to find a way to heal generational trauma and identify the things that are attributing to our symptoms of anxiety and depression, right? And
Mhm.
for me personally, like I had to figure out something holistically that worked because medicines don't work for me anytime I've tried them. So figuring out breath work and yoga and time in nature and meditation and prayer and music and essential oils and all the things, like all the list of things that we can go to because this program is as much about stress resilience and life skills and coping skills as it is about learning about yoga philosophy. Does that make
Right.
sense? It is a mix of truly like personal development and healing and transformation as much it is learning about the koshas and the chakras. And
Right.
I developed it that way on purpose, where I've integrated what I used to do one-on-one with yoga psychology clients, and I've given it to you guys. So it's like you're sitting down with me one-on-one through videos and handouts and journaling, and I'm giving that to you guys to be able to use with other students as well, whether you're a coach or a teacher. You can do this in groups, you can do it one-on-one. You can create your
Or I do
own.
it with my family. I've been doing it with my children, like breath work and some of the body movements. They aren't as great with staying for a whole like yoga session, but I still like have been teaching them like the Nadi Shodhana breath and like the other things because my children are all neurodiverse and have some just really big energies. Some regulation, like self-regulation is a challenge for them. So this has been so like integral, like, and helping us work through that together as a family. And it's been wonderful.
I love that. That's amazing. That makes me so happy. That brings me so much joy. And I wanted to mention that too, that we open it up to the family. Like when somebody, does the tuition and stuff, like we give it to the entire family. So for those of you out there, like Chrystal has 4 kids. Other of you may have 2 kids, however many it is. Some of you may have tweens, teens. She has young kids, which is absolutely amazing that you're teaching your kids so young, these breaths. Like, that's incredible. That makes me so happy because you're teaching them self-regulation skills, like you said, at a very young age. And they're way ahead of a majority of kids if they know how to regulate their emotions. Like, that's huge. They can regulate their thoughts and emotions. That's amazing to learn that at such a young age. And I did want to mention too, like you and I both grew up in the church, right? So I just want to mention that, like, side note that there's religion and there's having like a personal relationship with God, right? And so even though I grew up in the church, I'm very much about like spirituality, having a personal relationship with God, and integrating that into my practice. And
Yes.
some people choose to do that and some people do not, and that's totally fine, and it's open for everyone. So I'm just sharing my personal testimony of what's worked for me, that yoga's helped me open my consciousness and open my mindset and help me to live my beliefs and live my yoga on and off the mat, like even beyond what I thought I possibly could before I started yoga, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So just side note on that. Okay, so if you could share for a minute about your experience, like what are some of the things that you've seen on your own personal healing and transformation through this program that has helped you, whether it's with depression, anxiety, whether it's different samskara patterns. Like, I don't remember if you struggled with perfectionism or imposter syndrome, or what are some of the samskara patterns that you identified that were attributing, to some of your symptoms?
Well, definitely imposter syndrome, the people pleasing and good girl syndrome. And I think I am identifying the perfectionism, but that was like something I didn't ever think was me because I felt just so like scatterbrained and like I was just easygoing and let things go. But then I realized as I got into it, like, oh, I'm not like focusing on what I want because I want it to be a certain way. And I feel like if it's not done that way, then I'll be frustrated. So I just let it go. So it's kind of like covert perfectionism, if that makes sense, that I'm recognizing and have been recognizing. I'm like, okay, but it's also part of like, it's helping me learn more about myself.